project day. We're going through a heat wave here in Kentucky this week. The real feels are getting up in the triple digits. So I've been trying to limit my exposure outside as much as possible. So what do? I have to still keep doing something garden related. So I'm going to turn this old coffee can, which I've been using as my indoor compost collector to take outside, to my little direct compost bins that are out there. And if you're interested in that, there is a video here on my channel showing how I put the little direct compostings out. But I want to make this a little less of an eyesore. And also, my bucket that I use outside on the patio that I keep my potting soil mix in, I have just been using a kitty litter bucket, which is fine, but I'm trying to turn my little grow space out here into kind of like a little bit more pleasing to the eye. I love to reuse and repurpose stuff, but I figure I have these other things laying around from previous projects that I've done and might as well use them. And I think it's going to turn out pretty good. So I'm going to show you how I've transformed this trash into some garden treasures. I do not know how this is going to work because I've had this for a long time and I already did the outside garden project, trying to wear gloves and stuff. Nope. You always start with gloves, right? It's just like out in the garden. And I'm just going to use an old rag to cover this because, you know, gets messy. But I think this is going to work. This is old chalk paint that I had for a bunch of little projects that I used to do back in the day, you know, when I was crafty. Sounds like it works just fine. So let's, I can open it. Oh, God. Didn't get on me. Not yet. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And I can't remember where I got this. I think I got this. I must have got it at Hobby Lobby. It's just, but it's really good. I like it. That's why when we were decluttering, and my husband's like, you don't even use this anymore. And I'm like, you stay away from my little DIY section. And my brush, I probably didn't clean it properly last time. So I'm just gonna try to keep this. I should at least bought some new brushes, but I did not. And I'm not gonna go crazy with this one. It's just literally I want to cover the label. So it should be fairly decent and easy to do. And I think I'm going to go, oh, I screwed that up already. And I think I'm going to go all the way around the jar with this. But, and for us, this is a perfect size. Because one, it doesn't allow me to, because you know, yeah, you'd probably want something a little bit larger, especially if you have a bigger family. It's just the two of us. And it also keeps me honest. Keeps me emptying this thing like I should. And I don't worry too much about perfect lines. That's my husband. He gets the leveler out for everything. Which is great. Because, you know, you need some people that are perfectly straight with everything. It has to be in the right order. And then you've got people who just kind of wing it and hope for the best. Where's my club out there? And that's what I got so far. So I'm going to go ahead and move along to the next one and hopefully don't make a mess. Not too shabby. Probably a little thick, but it's okay. It'll be okay. All right. So this week, I finally went and did my thyroid uptake test, that nuclear thing. Basically, it was a pill that I had to swallow. It was, what is it? Radioactive. I shouldn't laugh, but it just sounds crazy. That's what it was. I had to swallow radioactive dye. But anyway, and it was just to test the functioning of my thyroid. and today, or this morning, I went and did the second part of the scan. And lo and behold, guess what? Hypothyroid, which I'm pretty sure also confirms because I did ask her what type of autoimmune I had at my last appointment, and she said Graves, which, okay, fine. Now I know what it is, so now I can start learning how to deal with it and research stuff based on that. Not exactly sure anyway how it is Graves because everything that I read, unless that's kind of here or there as well, but everything that I read said that it is a genetic uh, autoimmune, which I do have a brother who has some sort of autoimmune. I'm not exactly sure the specifics on it, and sadly, we've been estranged for several years. Not even sure why on that, but that's a different story. But anyway, but but I had read too that when you have a sibling, or in the family, but especially when you have a sibling that has an autoimmune, you're more prone to one as well. So I, that's, I don't know. Again, you read and hear all these different things, and it just kind of, it's like, which one do you believe and which one do you take to heart? And so I've just decided I'm going to try and focus on all the things that I used to do health-wise that helped me out and helped me feel good. Have to cut cardio out, that's for sure, because I already get enough of that with my job. And all I was doing was having crashes, probably from where my cortisol was getting way too high and then putting all that stress on my body, which probably also helped lead to some of these things going on with my thyroid. But anyway, so that is that, guys. We're going to let this dry. But anyway, long story short, I'm just going to go ahead and keep following the health protocols that I've always done before. I did already go caffeine free, other than, and yes, I do have Monsters every once in a while, every time when we go out in the car on the weekends. But I only have one, and that's the only, look, I'm already making a mess. Anyway, but I only have the one, and if that becomes an issue, then I'll back off on it. But just by switching out my coffee to decaf, by the way, has already made a huge difference, and I don't have nearly the amount of anxiety that I had before. I don't have the heart palpitations, difficulty concentrating, you name it, it was there. And I was a coffee lover forever. I still am. I love coffee, but not enough that it's going to make me feel like I'm cuckoo. So, or I may have a heart attack. I'm just not doing that. I did find one that, a decaf one that brewed in my Keurig. Oh my God, it kind of tricks my brain into thinking it's the regular coffee. But as I read from several other people that are hyperthyroid, they pointed out that you really don't need to add in more caffeine because your body is already brewing a pot of coffee for you, which kind of makes sense. So I'm willing to try different things that, you know, help me feel better, but at the same time, I get to keep stuff that I like in my life. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Because it gets frustrating. It gets really frustrating. I'm realizing dealing with this, and now I've been dealing with it for years, but I didn't know exactly what this was. And now I'm to the point where, you know, it's almost like, I even told my husband last night, and I'm kind of frustrated I even said it, but it's true. Sometimes the feeling is, why even bother? I know the answer to that. I know you always should bother. You should always try to improve any situation. But at one point, you kind of just get frustrated. And that also kind of goes along with other things that happen in life. You know, whether it's stuff in the family, seen that myself. And all you can do is just hope for the best. And that's kind of how I feel like with this as well. And but on the hot days where I can't really go out there because it's just going to zap all my energy, and it's kind of sad because I think at 49 years old I should have way more energy than I've got. But okay, I'm just gonna deal with it. I can do my projects. This is not bad. Now I'm gonna let this dry, and then I did put that on a little too thick. It's my style anyway. All right, guys. So we're gonna move on to the next project. I'm just giving this bucket a quick clean, and plus Jasper's laying there trying to see what's going on because he always has to be a part of everything, which is totally fine. And so anyway, I'm just wiping all this down because it had been sitting outside and got some debris on it. And I'm going to try to do this as close to good enough as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect because, again, it's outside and it was just going into the trash anyway. And I realized there was a sticker still left on the bucket, so I tried scraping it off with a knife, got off the most that I could, and then I decided, nope, I'm going to take the sandpaper to it. I don't even know if it's the right type of sandpaper. I don't pay attention to those things. I just use what we got laying around. And there's Jasper trying to help me out or play. I think he's trying to play, but he's a little camera ham, as you can tell. First, I wasn't sure what color I wanted. I like that light blue, but then I noticed that the gray matches it perfectly. And then I decided, well, it's only 100 and something degrees outside, and you know, you're not supposed to spray paint in the humidity, but that's fine. That's fine. We just power through anyway, don't we? And as you can tell, I am not a professional at all doing any of these projects, but it gets the job done. And that primer spray can, it covered it in one go. Went a little thick on some areas, but it still worked out really well. It covered up all the labeling the way I wanted it, and I was even able to go back and do the handles. So project number 2 has been completed, and just a little quick update on look at the cucumber playpen. That is 3 plants in there, and of course in this heat the cucumbers are drying up, and I'm having to water them quite a bit because see, there's a little baby right there, but I'm not getting any that are actually getting past that stage. See, then I get the ones that dry up. Where is he? Hang on, let me get in there a little bit more. See, right here, this one completely has dried up on me. So I'm just gonna hang in there, in any type of fertilizer I'm gonna wait till we pass through this heat. But damn, if I was growing a plant for leaves, hello, I think that one takes the cake. And the black-eyed Susans, and I've been picking a bunch of them to have as cut flowers in the house. How are your plants faring in this heat? Because it's pretty hot, but so far mine are hanging in there. And thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.